Too often, those who struggle are branded as weak or immoral.
According to studies, over 50% of all suicides are associated with alcohol.
My experience is they don't have a moral deficiency. Self-management and recovery training, they are very useful. Young people are, before they're even getting into a relationship, an intimate relationship, or beginning to experiment, they're looking at high-octane pornography.
Welcome to Khan Klinics, your dedicated space for exploring the vital connections that shape your well-being. Here we dive into everything from achieving peak physical fitness by mastering sustainable weight management to optimizing your diet for a vibrant life. We're passionate about uncovering the power interplay between your mental and physical health, offering you insightful strategies to nurture both. Join us as we unlock the secrets to a mark on your self-confidence and your inspiration by interviewing top-rated personalities, not from only the US, but around the world. At Khan Klinics, our commitment is to bring you evidence-based information that inspires you to confidently control your health journey and live your life to the absolute fullness. I'm your host, Amir Khan. Let's get ready to unlock true potential of being a human with the most amazing people around us. Drug addiction claims millions of lives globally every year. Too often, those who struggle are branded as weak or immoral, turning a devastating social problem into what's wrongly seen as an individual failing. Consider the stark numbers. In 2016 alone, alcohol abuse was responsible for 2% of female deaths and 6.8% of male deaths worldwide, causing significant disability and lost years of life. Another study in adolescents showed that it's a developmental period during which the brain is particularly vulnerable to the effects of drugs and abuse.
According to studies, over 50% of all suicides are associated with alcohol and drug dependence, and at least 25% of alcoholics and drug addicts commit suicide. This is not just a hypothetical thing. We have a real story today. A sharp young man from Glasgow, consumed by addiction, became a drug smuggler. His journey ended in homelessness and shattered health. How did he hit rock bottom and what brought him back? Stay tuned for a remarkable story ahead.
Welcome to another illuminating episode of Khan Clinics. I'm your host, Dr. Amir Khan, along with my co-host, Maya Gaylor. And today we're joined by truly an impressive guest. Today we explore the powerful transformation of a once smuggler, but now a leading drug addiction expert, Mark Demspter. He's regarded as one of the experts in his field. He's an author in the United Kingdom. His professional work is deeply rooted in his experience with addiction and recovery. He has worked in his field for 27 years and has experience in dealing with thousands of addicts across all types of addiction. He now runs a successful counseling practice, Mark Demspter Counseling, with an office at Harley Street in London. He specializes in all sorts of addiction, drugs, alcohol, gambling, internet, sex, and trauma. He's involved in a revolutionary approach to substance misuse detox, which has shown positive results.
His notable work includes Nothing to Declare, Confessions of an Unsuccessful Drug Smuggler, Dealer, and Addict, and The Ongoing Path, A Guide to Stopping Addictive Behavior and Fulfilling Ambition. Mark is a frequent media commentator on addiction, appearing on national TV such as Good Morning Britain, radio such as BBC Radio Kent, and in publications like the Sunday Times. He also features in various podcasts and YouTube interviews.
Mark Demspter, welcome to Khan Clinics and the show.
Hello there, Dr. Khan.
Mark, that's a fascinating journey, my friend. Now, considering what you have seen, learned, there is a lot you like to share. Tell us a few of the biggest misconceptions people have about addiction.
Right. Some of the misconceptions is that one of them, it clearly is that the person has a moral deficiency, right? My experience is that they don't have a moral deficiency, they have an illness which is progressive and fatal. And it's very much similar to an eating disorder. It's exactly the same. It's a cognitive impairment they have, basically. And, when they, like the person with eating disorder looks in the mirror and says that they're fat, they're cognitively impaired. They're actually, they're not fat at all, they're very skinny. It's the same with addiction. It's the same with drug addiction. They tell themselves that they're going to stop. They tell themselves they're never going to steal from other people. They tell themselves they'll never inject heroin. They tell themselves, but all of these, they cross these lines considerably, and they have so much denial. They get into a denial pattern. But if you channel that addictive drive, I believe that people with addictions, if they focus it in a productive way, they can be super successful. What makes somebody like Eric Clapton or Jimmy Page a phenomenal guitarist is also what makes them an addict. The fact that because that myopic focus on the instrument, that obsessiveness, when it's channeled into something productive, they can be super successful. But when they take particular drugs or alcohol or an addictive pattern such as pornography or sexual addictions or gambling, they're going to have a severe problem. So I believe we've got to look at it as an illness, and then you've got to look at, okay, well, where does the illness stem from? I mean, are most of our clients really ADHD? And actually, this is another topic. I'm sure this is another topic we can come on to.
Sure, we're going to come to that, Maya.
Yeah, so my question is, what are the most effective strategies for someone trying to overcome an addiction, whether it's drugs, alcohol, or behavioral, as you said?
Well, I think I think counselling, one-to-one counselling, but very focused on addiction, is very, very powerful. I think self-help groups, like all the 12-step groups, like Cocaine Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, they've got long-term, very, very useful, and it's a free resource that you can access. And wherever you are in the world, you can be anywhere. I've been meetings everywhere. I've been all around the Middle East. I've been in the Middle East. I've been Australia, America, all over. There's also SMART meetings, which is self-management and recovery training. They are very useful. It's a non-12-step groups that are based on cognitive behavioural therapy. I think they're very useful for people that don't want to do 12 steps and want to have a sort of cognitive approach. I think also what's very useful when people find things like mindfulness or meditation or yoga, or they find a spiritual practice, that can be very helpful in filling that emotional unmet needs or spiritual void that they feel. And I think exercise, and I mean by this that the use of exercise to raise dopamine levels, cold water immersion. There's lots of, and nowadays we're presented with other strategies. People are to break addictive patterns now. They're using such things as ibogaine and ayahuasca to kickstart the process of recovery. So I think as we move on in time, there's more innovative ideas. Trauma therapy is very useful. I mean, I'm a traumatologist as well, and I find that an incredibly powerful tool to help people go quickly into and look at the pain of, how things maybe began with addiction, where it stemmed from.
So I'm going to follow up with another question, and that's about something that is a non-drug addiction, Mark, more so related to gambling, sex, and internet addiction.
Yeah.
Tell us, when do you know that people are, we want to know some of the sign and symptoms when people they know they're now addicted, and this is beyond a normal pattern. And what
normal pattern of behavior.
Normal pattern of behavior, and what forms do you come across for that matter? And then we'll go and discuss a little bit about. Give us an overview about this first, and then we'll.
I know, because where somebody develops, and here, if we look at certain addictions, sexual addictions, whether it be and the various sort of levels of addiction that people may suffer from, obviously, the more extreme versions are people who are predatory by nature, and where they've developed some pattern of behavior which is very extreme, where it involves other people and it causes harm to other people. Now, they obviously need to find some type of therapy or some type of program to help them really focus and address this. Now, but if we look at, say, pornography and what pornography does to the brain, right, and about the reward system, the reward centers of the brain and reward pathways. If, for example, a young person, look, what's very difficult in our modern day society is pornography is very normalized within the British culture, and within really Western culture, it's very normalized. And what happens now is young people. I'm saying about young people because which never would have happened many years ago in the older generations, where there wasn't the fast track internet availability and such like. So young people are, before they're even getting into a relationship, an intimate relationship, or beginning to experiment, they're looking at high octane pornography. And I mean by high octane is they're looking at pornography that it can be various different genres, but our ancestors and our like my grandfather and his whole life a young person can see more imagery, hardcore sort of imagery, then you would say that's an addiction, that is causing, because it's causing you harm.
So let me ask you this. I want to go on two of the points you mentioned. One, the British culture you talk about, some form of porn is very, very common. It may be a mild form. It's considered humorous at times, funny, and people are introduced to it. But the follow-up question is, there is not a single person ever who is addicted and he would say, I'm addicted. They always think they're in control. They always think that they can stop at any time. And they was always tell you, no, man, I can stop it tomorrow if I want, but they never do. So how do you go about addressing this issue to them now? Is to say, okay, you got now a culture, everyone's talking about it, you may be addicted, but you don't know.
Yeah, well, you would say to them, look, if you can stop it, right, they're saying, oh, I could just stop it any day. Like, you would say, well, how come you say that you can stop it, but you keep over and over again doing the same thing? So obviously, you're in some sort of denial. We say denial stands for don't even know, the acronym, don't even know I am lying. It's like, it's because you would say, well, look, this is causing you pain. You're saying to me that you can just stop it, but yet you don't stop it. So what part of your mind is operating that keeps you engaged in it over and over again? And you would then look at you would then say, okay, then if you can stop it, let's have a period. Let's do a day at a time for the next 7 days, and let's see how we get on. Let's see how you feel. Look at the benefits. You could do a cost benefit analysis of it. What's at risk for you to stop it, and what's the benefits? How are you going to benefit on by stopping it? What's likely to happen? And you want them to really understand the consequences of the behavior. You want them to see in every area, what does it cost you psychologically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially? What is the impact of this behavior, and how does it stop you from growing? How does it stop you from achieving your goals in life?
I guess the follow-up would be, if people around you are getting affected by what you are doing, then it's a sure problem. What a remarkable journey we've just experienced together. The path to health isn't always straight, but it's always worth the effort. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step in your wellness journey, armed with new knowledge and a fresh perspective. If today's episode left you inspired, share it with someone who need to hear this. Give us a thumbs up and your opinion. Keep exploring, keep evolving, and we'll see you in the next episode of Khan Klinics.